This video is sponsored by...
This video was made possible by...
This message comes from NPR sponsor.
Hey, this video was sponsored by...
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by...
The sponsor for this episode...
Hey, if you enjoy this sort of thing and puzzles, then I think you'll like my Rubik's Cube class that I teach on Skillshare.
Curiosity Stream.
KiwiCo.
By Brilliant.
ZipRecruiter.
They're 3M.
Simply Safe. You get notified if you forget to lock the door, you can lock it remotely, you can check it. Super handy.
Sponsored content is everywhere. It's embedded in YouTube videos, Spotify podcasts, Instagram posts, news articles, TV shows, any form of mainstream media these days. Although the abundance and variations of sponsored content is a somewhat modern thing, the way that these content creators and influencers get paid is not. Today, brands pay the content creator an upfront lump sum based on their historical average viewership numbers. So, for example, a brand like Squarespace could approach an aspiring YouTuber and say, "Hey, we see that your videos are averaging 15,000 views each. We pay 3 cents a view, so we'll pay you $450 if you mention our brand in your video." Now, let's say that aspiring YouTuber took that offer, accepted the money, and mentioned Squarespace in their content. But then 3 years later, that aspiring YouTuber's channel blew up. They have millions of subscribers, and that video Squarespace paid $450 to be mentioned in now has millions of views. In this case, the YouTuber would miss out on lots of potential revenue because the advertising contract they signed with Squarespace paid them an upfront amount. This could easily be solved for if the advertising contracts that brands make with content creators were digital and smart. If the contracts could search up the current view numbers on a sponsored video and automatically pay the content creator. Now, Dapplu can do just that. Dapplu is a platform letting brands make digital smart contracts with content creators and influencers. These smart contracts can call public APIs to get real-time content engagement data, like the number of views a video has or the average time spent reading a sponsored news article. The smart contracts can then automatically pay the content creator as their content gets more engagement over a time horizon specified by the brand, instead of paying an upfront lump sum. This incentivizes content creators to keep pushing sponsored posts instead of just uploading and forgetting. And it also gives them the opportunity to make larger amounts of money than they otherwise would if they can grow their audience. Behind the scenes, Dapplu is powered by the blockchain. When a brand makes a smart contract with an influencer, everything on it, from the content pay to an optional legally binding PDF that the brand could attach, is stored on decentralized computers around the globe. All the decentralized computers storing the contract must agree on its state. This means that no computer can try to set a false number, like how much pay an influencer should get. Either faulty number will be rejected by the network. The code running the contracts is also stored decentrally. Once again, this means that all the computers must agree on it, but it also means that the code cannot be changed, which means that the contracts can't be hacked. This is all happening behind the scenes, so consumers don't need to worry about it. But it's good to have the reassurance that their smart contracts are secure. Let's go to the website and check out an example. Go to Dapplu.com. Choose the currency you want to work with. If you're a brand, then you'll want to create a smart contract. Put in your Ethereum address or ENS name if you have one. Put in the influencer's address or ENS name. Set a contract deadline. This is when the contract will stop automatically updating itself and stop automatically paying the influencer. Put in a pay-per-view amount. Right now, Dapplu only supports YouTube videos, and the contract will automatically pay the influencer for every new view they get. Set a budget. This is how much the brand sends a contract upon creation. The contract uses a budget payment amount to automatically pay the influencer. The budget is the max amount the brand will pay to the influencer. When the contract expires, if the influencer's video was a dud and didn't get enough views for their pay to reach the contract budget, then the brand can withdraw the remaining budget amount. Upload an optional legally binding document specifying things like certain content the influencer must upload. Lastly, choose a stablecoin if you want. By default, the contract stores the payment the brand sends it in Ethereum. However, if the brand or influencer is worried about volatile Ethereum prices, then they could choose for the contract to store its funds in a stablecoin that is pegged to fiat currencies like the US dollar. Click Propose. Pay a small transaction fee and the contract budget amount. Here it is. The contract is in propose status now and will be active once the influencer uploads the link to their YouTube video. Here's the written agreement. It's stored decentrally on IPFS. Content creator, then you go to the influencer's page. You'll see the contracts that the brands have sent you. You can see which currency the brand chose to store its funds in. To approve the contract, you'll need to upload the link to your sponsored video. Go to the YouTube video and copy the YouTube ID tag at the end of the link. Send it to the contract. Pay a small transaction fee. The smart contract will now call YouTube's API to get the view numbers on the video and will pay you accordingly. Click Withdraw to withdraw your payment anytime you want. By using Dapplu, brands reduce the risk. No more worrying about whether a video or podcast will be a dud. And for content creators and influencers, They'll of course be paid more fairly based on the actual value that their content generates. Now they can start investing in their channel's future growth. Dapplu is a platform to make smarter contracts controlled by code for the modern age.
Hey, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. And this is the point where I usually talk about a sponsor, and this one is great. It's
Dapplu.